Hey guys. No big post for today. I just kind of was curious on what's the most creative scope you guys have seen so far. I was actually part of one last night. Now I cannot remember the person's name, but he was actually doing a scope mob. Have any of you ever heard of a scope mob? It was the coolest thing I'd seen. So this guy actually had like 200,000 followers. And what he did was he had all the followers basically agree on the scope. Hey, what's going on, Join with Nancy? He had all the followers on the scope basically agree. Okay, so what he was going to do is he was going to log off of his current cast, and then he was going to go find some random cast somewhere in the world that only had like 2 or 3 followers on it, and or 2 or 3 people like watching the actual cast, and then he was going to share with his followers, and then we all basically go and scope mob this random person and basically look at their expressions. It was the funniest thing. Yes, Mark K. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen. The one that I was on yesterday, they actually went with these guys that were somewhere in the UK, and it was just 3 guys. I looked like they were sitting at a pub or something like that, just having a drink, and you know, they had like 3 or 4 followers on there. And when he invited all of his followers, like 200 people just instantly joined that cast. And these people were like it was the funniest thing. They were just like, what? Oh my gosh, there's like 200 people on this cast. And I mean, they freaking bug out. It's the funniest thing. If you haven't been on a scope mob, you've got to try one. I'm thinking if we can get enough followers on one of our ninja scopes that we do later on in the evening, then that might be something cool to actually try out, because people actually get like really just tickled with that, you know. So like right now we've got 22 people on right now, but just imagine if out of nowhere that 22 turned into like 200. What's a scope? A scope is what I'm doing right now. This is actually a cast or a scope. One lady ended her cast. She was scared. Yeah, I figured a whole bunch of people are like thinking that, oh, I've been hacked, to go from like, you know, 2 people on your scope to all of a sudden you're at like 200, and they're like, oh man, what is going on? And I think it's funny because they like start staring at the screen like something different's gonna happen. Like me, I'm talking to you guys now, and I'm just like, okay, there's 23 folks on here now, but what if there was 200? I mean, nothing would change. You know, it's kind of funny. If you want to invite followers, you can actually click on the little face in the bottom corner, the bottom right hand corner. If you click on that, it should bring up where you can see the live viewers, and there should be a share button in there. And if you click share, you have normally, well, on an iPhone, you've got 3 options. You can share with specific people, you can share with Twitter, or you can share with all of your followers. So this one particular guy, he basically gets everybody on his cast, and he tells them the rules, you know. So when you actually do a scope mob, you're not supposed to tell the person that's on there that you're actually doing a scope mob. You know, then he'll get off of his cast and he'll go find somebody, and then everybody join on that one. So I'm thinking, and at least if you've seen that before, then I'm thinking we should try that one of these days and do a DSD scope mob and just get some random person. That would be so funny. What is a scope? This is a scope. This is actually a scope that we're doing right now. It's just a cast. It's just a live video is all it is. I mean, it's just, you know, play on words, Periscope. So yeah, that would be so funny. Yeah, scope. Oh, scope mob. Yeah, well, that was probably one of the most creative things that I've seen so far, on scope, you know, just in the past 2 weeks, is actually the scope mob, which we were talking about. So basically what happens is, like, say for instance, if we were to schedule a scope mob, like say for right now, I mean, there's only 24 of us on here right now, but if there was like a whole bunch of other ones, then we could actually come out and say, okay, hey guys, I'm going to invite you all to another scope that I'm going to jump on, someone else's that only has like 2 or 3 people on there. And then we're just going to go mob their post like crazy. And then just start asking them random questions like, oh, where are you at? Nah, 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 nah. And just to see people's expressions, their facial expressions, is just the most perfect thing ever. I think you're right, this Periscope thing. Oh yeah, do a Periscope, most definitely. I highly encourage anybody out there who, especially if you're nervous about doing videos, jump on Periscope. I kind of feel more comfortable talking to the screen when I know there's other people over there. When I actually do videos in my house and I'm just like talking to my computer and it's just me, I kind of feel stupid. But yeah. How about giving someone a heart attack? Yes, exactly. Yes, yes, yes. I love heart attacks. So go ahead and pump those hearts right on up. I actually just got, what even got me to make this scope period is I was watching one of the other people that I follow. His name is Wick Fury. And he's actually giving away a brand new watch if people give him hearts. So you basically log into his cast and you start pumping hearts in the bottom of that screen. And he's putting your name in a drawing. Like, he's literally doing it right there on the scope. And, you know, he'll put that into, you know, a box. And then once he hits 500,000 hearts, he will actually do a drawing right there on the scope. And somebody's going to win a watch, you know. It's pretty cool. Scope Mob is a trending. Oh, is it? That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Yeah. I mean, my first Scope Mob was yesterday, and it was fun. We did like 2 or 3 people. The first one was the 3 guys at the pub, and then we did another one, and it was basically a guy and 2 of his friends in the kitchen. They were cooking lunch, and there was 2 people on there, and then they were like, oh my gosh, there's like 5 million people here. I don't know the exact brand. It was a gold watch. I mean, it's not a Rolex or anything like that, but hey, people love free stuff. So, I mean, it was pretty cool though. It was pretty cool though. So, I mean, it was creative. And that's the whole, you know, idea of my cast right now is just, you know, what is the most creative thing that you guys have seen on Scope thus far? I know it's fairly new to a lot of people. You know, if you're in DS Dalmatian, which is the company that we're in, then a lot of people are barely starting to get onto the whole scopiness, periscoping thing. But I know other people do know about it already. So, I mean, that's just the coolest thing that I've seen so far. Oh, you're in Richmond? Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Did you get any rain? Charlie boy, did you get any rain? Because I was like, I'm thoroughly, you know, just done with this whole tropical storm Bill thing. Because, I mean, it's not really sunny outside, but it's just drizzling. Yeah, that's neither. That's neither. I saw a video from somebody up northern Texas, somewhere around Dallas, something like that. And they looked like they were getting some pretty good rain. But, you know. One lady was talking about creating a supportive women-only group. A women-only group for what? For Scope? Wordsworth, you're going to do a Scope right after me? Well, you know what? I could actually turn this into a Pass the Cast, and we can all go follow you and go see what you have to say. You know, that was probably one of the other things. I mean, it's fairly creative. You know, the whole Pass the Cast thing. I mean, I've enjoyed that. Have any of you guys done to a Pass the Cast? This morning we got a lot though, but River and Matagorda. Yeah, Matagorda Bay got it really, really bad. They got it really bad. But luckily we're in Cyprus, so we don't really get with all of that. But I mean, I thought we would have got a lot more rain than that. I mean, flash flood watches, tornado watches, and everything like that. And I mean, there's like no rain outside whatsoever. It's just a little bit damp right now, but you know, it is. Not yet, but we can do that. Wordsworth, so you haven't been on the Pass the Cast just yet? I've been to a Pass the Cast. How did you like the Pass the Cast? Have any of you actually done a Pass the Cast, or you actually were the one getting the cast? I've done a bunch of them. We're prepared for the worst, and this is like any other AIM story. Yeah, we're prepared for the worst too. I mean, we get used to it and stuff like that. So yeah, I know what you're talking. Especially all of last month when I think it rained like the majority of May. So Nancy, you haven't done a Pass the Cast yet. Pass the Cast is pretty cool. Whenever you log into Periscope and there's one out there, I highly suggest, you know, getting on there. It's a good way for you to get followers. It's a good way for you to get comfortable with the whole Periscope thing, you know. Periscope is different than, you know, YouTube, where you're creating a video and then posting it out there. Periscope, I mean, you have to know what you're talking about, you know, for the most part before you start a cast, because people are watching you live, you know. So, it makes you think on your toes. I mean, I would compare this to something like, you know, being on a news broadcaster and stuff. And that, I can actually see that that's kind of hard. You know, I always thought that maybe that would be kind of easy, but ad-libbing and stuff like that, it's an art. Not everybody can do it. And a lot of people that I've seen on Periscope who aren't fairly comfortable with it end up like staring at the camera and they're just like, they don't really know what to say. But I've actually been getting better. I do say a lot, and I think that's only because like I'm all over the place in my head. I've got so much I want to say that it just comes out like that. But I tend to catch myself. But it is interesting to see people come out of their shell. So there's been a lot of people that we interact with on Facebook that are taking that plunge and jumping into Periscope and actually getting out there and doing a whole lot more. So it's nice to see. My scope will be about the realities of changing your mindset. Hey, that's good stuff. That's good stuff. So Wordsworth, hey, put some more emojis and stuff down there so people can follow you, because he's going to do a scope right after I finish this one. And I really didn't come on here for anything. I just, hey, wanted to do a scope. And that's one of the good things. I just pop on here and do a scope. You love my energy. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm all over the place. I bounce all over the place. So I'm actually in my office, which is the bed. So there's Wordsworth right there. If you guys want to take a peek at his next scope, he's going to actually get on there and do something pretty cool. You saw some dude the other night and he was panhandling. What? Are you serious? And people actually paid him? I can't believe that. I cannot believe that. Periscope is real-time tweeting content. Yeah, I love that. I love that. I mean, it's pretty cool. And I wish they would actually open it up to more, different types of phones and stuff like that. Either that or people need to go upgrade their phones, because we have a lot of people that have like droids and are having so many issues out there trying to actually get the app, period. So I do like the fact that the links are put on Twitter immediately so that people can watch you on the computer. It would be nice if people would be able to actually watch your replays and stuff like that, or search from the computer. I did see something called like Meerkat or something like that. And there's some other program that you can Google where you can actually look at the most popular videos on Periscope, but it doesn't let you search for a particular user. So if somebody wanted to find me, for instance, they really couldn't find it. So, maybe it's coming. The app is still fairly new, and I guess they probably wanted to see how it would do, but I think it's doing fairly well. I've seen it growing. I've only been on for 2 weeks myself, but I've seen it growing. Shoot, this is like video number 54 for me. So, and that's I've had to restrain myself. My husband makes fun of me because I would be on here all the time just telling you guys all my business, which is fine. Which is fine. I like it because people get to know you a little bit better. It's a lot better than, like I said, YouTube I don't have an issue with, but YouTube a lot of times it's pre-planned stuff. So it is what it is. Periscope is more like live in your face, and yep. Thank you guys for the hearts. I'm going to actually end this scope right now because I'm doing some research, because we've got some training webinars that we're doing later on. Yes, I'm a Periscope junkie. I forgot why Twitter made Periscope. They're competing. Really? There's another program called Meerkat. Meerkat, I believe, does the same type of, you can do videos. But I never really heard about Meerkat until I heard about Periscope. So, I'll have to actually go look at it. I've read some reviews online, and yeah, I saw the same thing. Periscope had better reviews than Meerkat. So, I like it so far. I've not had any issues. And so far, I've only had to block one person. And, you're going to get trolls on here. The only thing that I don't like is that, just people are just goofy sometimes. And so, like, in the middle of the night, or if you get on Periscope, like, late at night, it turns into a totally different environment. And you get a bunch of people drinking and smoking and trying to do some real goofy, raunchy stuff on there. And you just, I don't have time for all that stuff. I think it's just people abusing the system, but it is what it is. You're going to get that whenever you have an open app like this. So I just block it and keep it moving. But so far I've not really had any terrible instances or anything like that. So I like it. It's a good tool. It's a good networking tool for sure. There's a guy, I can't remember all these people's names. There is a guy that comes on every night, like 2 or 3 times a day, and he's got a guitar, he's in a band, and Perry Trolls, that's a good one. This guy comes on and he will actually sing whatever it is that you type in your comment section. He's pretty good. And he actually did a live version of it when his band had a concert. It was somewhere on the water, and they had the phone out and they were literally singing to the crowd whatever came across his Periscope comment section. I thought that was pretty creative. And, I've seen, you get to see a lot of people's like actual lives. It's almost like a real live version of the Truman Show. If you guys remember that show with Jim Carrey, or that movie with Jim Carrey, some years back. Oh my goodness. Where the cameras like showed him 24/7 his life from birth to, whenever he figured out that he was actually on camera. That's my interpretation of Periscope. It actually allows people to see things and experience things when you're experiencing it. So it's like reality TV for all of us. So I mean, it's pretty cool. I've met some really cool people on there. There's a doctor on here. He comes on, he will answer any weird question that you may not want to ask your own doctor or ask somebody in person. He answers everything. It's great. I see Kevin Hart, you know, the comedian. He's always on Periscope. I don't know when he's got time to do anything else. That camera is always in his face. But yeah, so far my favorites are, of course, Past the Cast. The Scope Mob would be a really, really close second. And then these giveaways. I really like these giveaways. You know, they're a creative way to get hearts. I really don't know if Periscope is going to give you anything special if you get the most hearts. But, you know, hey, it is what it is. If you guys look at some of the top scopers that are out there, the ones that have the most hearts, the most followers, I think one guy has, there's one guy that has 66 million hearts. And, you know, I've watched his scopes and I'm like, I don't understand it. Maybe he's famous somewhere. All of his scopes are in Arabic. So, I mean, maybe he's famous in that particular part of the world, but 66 million hearts. Whew, I can believe it. Yes, 66 million. I mean, that's a lot. That's a whole lot. But it's weird because there are no famous people that are up there in the top on Periscope, which is one thing that I really like too. The Periscope app is not just ran by a bunch of movie stars and actresses and entertainers and stuff like that. It's everyday people. Minus this one guy who's, you know, at 66 million hearts. His name is Farad or something like that. You guys have to see him. When you go out there and search for, it's on when I go look for people. I don't know what the name of that button is called, but it's the 4th button. But, hey, from North Carolina, I'm here down in Texas. But yeah, guys, check him out. And there's another guy, I think his name is Matt. The last name starts with the S. He's got like 66 million hearts. And then the next one below them is like 24 million. So there's a huge difference. You can rig the heart. Okay. Was it VJ One Brooks? Please tell me, how do you rig the heart system? How do you do that? That would be interesting to learn. So I know I've earned all of my hearts. I don't have 1 million yet, but I should be rounding 100,000 pretty soon. But I've also done like 50 something videos so far. But, and I think I only have like 600 something followers, but I gained most of my followers from the online business that we have and, you know, giving away tips and tricks and stuff like that. You don't even have 10K yet? Oh, have you done any scopes? Let me look at yours. I'm following you too. Okay, so you did one scope already. You got 7,000. That's not too bad. You're getting there. You're actually getting there. The hearts come out of nowhere sometimes. They really do, because some videos you won't get any hearts, and then all of a sudden you just get like 1 billion of them coming out of nowhere. I'm going to actually go ahead and end the scope. Wordsworth, if you're still on, he's going to start his scope. And he's going to actually do a pretty good one. I think he said mindset. So I'm going to jump off, catch my breath here, and then I'm going to actually go tune into his and see what he has to say. But thank you guys for the hearts. Tap through every one of your scopes. I've done my part for you. Thank you. All right, so there's Wordsworth right there. He's actually going to do a scope as soon as I finish mine. And so Wordsworth, you can probably jump off. Well, Parrish. I want to call you Parrish anyway. So you can actually jump off and start yours. And then we'll go move over to yours and see what you have to say. Because I am done running my mouth. Okay, so you guys have a good evening. I will be back, of course. So I'm addicted to this thing. See, I don't even comb my hair when I get on anymore. But hey, it is what it is. So I'll see you guys soon.